Yeah, it goes late nights on the road. Yeah, that's just how it goes. Yeah, that's just how it goes these days. I'ma try my best to make this flight, but if I don't wake up tomorrow, then the sun will still be. Yeah, it goes late nights on the road. Yeah,
Bada boom, bada bing, ladies and gentlemen. This is your boy Oceanic Flight 111, heading straight to full potential with zero delays. Welcome to episode 2 of One Step at a Time. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying that I am a bit sick, so my voice is a little bit crackly. But I decided to do it anyways, because why not get that second episode underneath, and it might just sound okay. I did have a second guest for today, but unfortunately we had to reschedule, so I decided to do this one solo dolo. Kind of paint the picture of my day. It's a lovely day. It's a lovely Sunday of recording. I'm recording this on. Outside is very green. The nature is singing. It's a bit wet. The leaves, you know when the water's just ever sliding off the leaves and then it hits the ground. It does that every couple of minutes. The birds are flying around. The grass is looking wonderful. But anyways, that's kind of my current setting. I'm currently looking out the window, looking at that, so it's quite peaceful and relaxing. For my kind of conversation today, I wanted to touch in on confidence. I want to speak a little bit about confidence, because confidence is a powerful thing, and I'm always complimented. I'm very blessed to be complimented on my confidence, and I have been for a long time, ever since I was a baby. Ever since I was a wee baby, I've been complimented on my confidence. Yeah, I've been complimented on my confidence since I was a baby, so it's kind of something I want to touch in on. I guess it's a tough thing, confidence, especially nowadays. I would say ever since the old Covey-Wovey, that confidence has been dwindling amongst generations, or amongst certain age groups, I would say, and certain types of confidence are dwindling. Especially social confidence, but not just social confidence, all, be it that your confidence in your purpose as a being or as a person, or confidence in social, where it's chatting with friends or going up to new people, or it's all areas of life. I guess we need a touch of confidence, don't we? So I guess I kind of want to bring back to first of all, how I view confidence, and I guess where my confidence would stem from. So I was very blessed to have a pops that is quite a confident dude. Shout out to the pops. And he just loves speaking to people. He just loves, and that's where I learned from. I'm big on people. I just love people, and I love speaking to people because everybody has a story. So I love finding out a piece of their story, be it little or be it substantial, and learning about that person's travels or how they got to this moment where we met. I think it's quite a wonderful thing, quite a unique thing. Everyone has that unique story. So growing up, I would have been kind of exposed to the father, no matter where we go, always starting a conversation. And it's a very Irish thing too. We're very good at conversation. We're very good at starting a conversation. When we travel all around the world, Irish people are known for, we're known for our partying, but we're known for our camaraderie, our confidence, and our conversational skills. We could talk to a wall, I guess. Better way of putting it. So from young, I was exposed to that. I'm very lucky to see that day to day, where my father would just chat to anyone, like literally anyone, doesn't matter on the walk of life. So I guess that's where I initially planted the flowers of conversation for me, and just understanding that people are just people. All walks of life, at the end of the day, it's just a person, and you're allowed to speak to people. In fact, most people actually like it. So from young, I would have taken a lot of that in, where I would have naturally spoken to people and tried my best to figure out people, even when I was younger. Now, the skills weren't quite there yet, but the curiosity, I guess, the wonder, that's a great way of putting it. The curiosity and wonder of what's behind that wall of the person. What's a conversation? What keys, what doors will it unlock? The chest almost to the treasure. And sometimes you'll find a treasure in there, and sometimes you won't. That's perfectly okay too. So I was always chatty as a kid. And I remember when I was, what age was I? I remember when I was like 7 or 8 going to cool camps. When you go when you're kids, and they had this I guess presentation at the end of the week. Now think about it, them things used to only last like a week. It feels like they were much longer, but yeah, they're usually only a week. Great times. I was only saying to someone, man, imagine if you had cool camps for adults, right? And it was like no drink, no drugs. You just go and like have a fucking bomb ass time. Now there is things like that, the retreats and stuff you can do, but it should be a lot more common thing that people just do, I guess, and not so expensive maybe. But anyways, got sidetracked there. At the end of the week of this cool camps, when I was about 8, everyone had an opportunity to go out and do something on stage. So you could go up and sing a song, you could like do a dance or something. And I remember thinking, fuck yeah, I'll go up and like tell a joke or something. And I remember a ton of kids just like laughing as kids do, and like taking like the mickey out of like, that I'm going to go up and tell this joke. And I just couldn't understand it. I was like, why are you laughing? Like my brain just couldn't comprehend why they thought it was funny that I was going to go up and do this, and that I shouldn't almost. So again, I will say I'm very blessed with the capability to not listen to other people. Sometimes not listen to other people's opinion. Sometimes that's a pro, guys. Sometimes that's a con. Okay. So anyhow, I get up on stage. I tell the joke. Let me bring you back. It's a auditorium/hall. There's about 50, 60 people in the crowd, parents, and maybe, let's say 100. It felt like 100. Let's say 100. There's 100 people in the crowd. Silence. A girl goes on before me. Poor girl, she crashes. She burns. She goes to tell her joke. It doesn't go well. She can't get the words out. I felt sorry for her. So anyways, she goes off. Poor girl freezes. And then it was my opportunity. And I seen that stage and I said, let's go. This sounds so cringe. So anyways, long story short, went up on stage, told the joke, what happens when the chicken cross, why did the chicken cross the road? Silence. To get to the other side. Few people laughed, clapped, walked off stage feeling like a boss, a king, a young prince of sorts. So that was my first, I guess, initial thing of maybe building confidence as a kid or whatever. So let's fast forward a little bit. We're going through my psyche in my life. And when I went to secondary school, so I was kind of bright. I would say a bright person. Not like, well, I'm bright intellectually, I would say yes, but more of my soul being bright and an optimistic, happy kid, I guess. For the most of it. And but I was just so bloody scared of secondary school. Man, I was terrified. I don't know what it was about, but I just worked it up to be everything. I guess it wasn't. But I was terrified. I was terrified of getting bullied. I was terrified of it being so big. I was terrified. I was just so fearful. So that kind of put me into like a little shell. And it's probably my first memory of going into a shell, because of feeling that fear and getting anxious and becoming tense. So that's probably my first. Now, it definitely would have happened to me before that. But that was my first real, like, fleshed out, clear memory of it, I guess. So anyhow, absolute dreading going to secondary school. Aye. But I had to go anyways. And I didn't want to go. I was like, oh, maybe I could, like, stay another year in primary school or something. Because, primary school, fucking, we used to go swimming every Friday, get sweets, play football at break time. It's a peaceful life, you know? You know, you grow up and, like, you search for peace and more meaning. Like, geez, how much more peace and meaning do you want than fucking Ashton school? Like, you get your breaks. Sometimes you even get free food. You go home at 3 o'clock, like, and you get a whole summer off. So. Oh, so funny. So funny. But anyhow, go to secondary school. And I was balled up and I went pure shy. For, I guess, the first time in my short period of life. At that point, I was only 13, like, my God. So anyhow, I went very shy. And I went very shy and very tense. So for the first couple of months of secondary school, it weren't great. It wasn't great. I got bullied a little bit. Not too bad, but enough to feel shit, I guess. Got bullied a little bit. Yeah, just, I guess, the tough experience that many kids find it tough. I guess it's even harder nowadays for kids, but, you know, meeting new people, so many people, it's almost like this big new opportunity in life to meet new friends, but then you don't. What else, I guess, is the psyche of that. Fearful of, like, teachers, the work. Man, I used to be so stressed out over, I remember one time, this is so funny. I remember one time, I did art, right? Which, that's a story I might tell another time. Or I might tell it here, you never know. So, I did art. This is in first year. This is all leading to confidence, guys, I promise you. If you stick around, it's all about confidence. So, I did art. And one time, all my sheets got wet, like that I needed for an art exam or something. And I went home and I was panicking. Now, the mother ended up helping me dry them out, and it was grand in the end. But I put the weight of the world, should I say, on my shoulders about these sheets. Bruh, it didn't mean anything. Like, cool, the teacher might have got mad for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Whoop-de-doo. But it didn't mean anything. But like we so often do as humans, even as adults, more so when we're kids, but, well, no, all ages. Yeah, it's all ages. It's definitely, maybe even we do it more as adults. We blow something way out of proportion than it actually is. So I was blowing this way out of proportion. Long story short, it didn't matter whatsoever. But these are the type of things that were happening when you're in first year, I guess, that you overblow. So, first couple of months of first year, it was just so shy within myself. And then, I liked this girl in my class. Shout out to her. Hope she's doing well in life. And I got it into my mind, bruh, I should have asked this girl out. Now, I didn't even chat to this girl. I sat beside her in maths. I never chat to this girl. This is like 2-3 months into a wee babby in first year. I don't know if that's a Northern Ireland accent or a Scottish accent, but hey. Anyways, yeah, I think it's my fat bastard accent. Oh, a wee babby. Yeah, so, I was sitting beside this girl in maths class, and I was like, damn, I think she liked me. Nothing in the entire world would insinuate that this girl had romantic feelings for me. But for some reason, I was convinced that I should ask her out. Again, didn't even talk to her. I said like 2 words to her ever, didn't text her or whatever. So boom, I got into my head, right, I'm going to ask her out. So at this point, bruh, this became like a massive thing. I was like, right, how am I going to do this? Well, I'm going to wait. I'm going to ask her in person, obviously, because I thought that's what you did. So, maths class. one maths class. I sit beside her in maths. The bell goes, and I've laid it all out. You know, I've laid out the steps. I know exactly what point, the words I'm going to say, the words I'm going to use to make sure this, you know, this comes off and I capitalize on this moment and it's successful and boom, you boy Martin has a girlfriend, right? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, bruh, this better be smooth. Gets to the day. I'm sitting there in maths class. The bell goes. Do. I'm going, oh shit. I gotta ask this girl out. So, I'm absolutely shitting the talks. So scared. I'll kind of give you context. We leave maths class and the hallway is like packed. And she's in front of me a good bit with her friends and stuff. And there's kind of like a crossroads where it goes to one classrooms and then goes to the other classrooms. I'm thinking, right, just at that kind of crossroads almost, I'm going to like tap her on the shoulder and ask her. So I'm ready. I'm kind of like following the group of people. And then it gets there. And then I kind of like just walk a bit faster, tap her on the shoulder. She turns around. And I was so scared. I was like crippling fear. And then I was like, I'll do my accent. I won't mention the girl's name. Her name is So tap her on the shoulder and I go, do you want to go out? Because my voice was quite squeaky. And she just laughed. She laughed. And all her friends laughed at me. And I just like, oh no. The worst possible outcome wasn't her saying no, but in fact, her and her friends laughing. So I just like that like moment just stopped. Frozen in time. and they were all laughing at me. And I just like, it wasn't great. Turned around and walked down to my class that I had at the time, technology. So, little did I know what I just did though. So I'm walking down technology, and all the other kids like, oh my god, Martin just has to whatever. And this thing that I was fearful of doing, unknowingly putting myself in the deep end, unknowingly to myself, I was like, oh shit, yeah, I did just go up and try that. Was it a great idea? Nope. Should I have probably done it? Nope. But I did do it. And that almost gave me a little bit, I was like, whoa, I was quite scared to like do that, and I did. So I think that literally gave me a little bit of confidence. Now, in hindsight, that's a terrible way to assess someone. Terrible way. But anyway, your kids, I guess. So that kind of gave me a little bit of confidence. And then after that, I was like, oh, well, I did something scary like that. Maybe I could do other things there. And then I kind of started coming out of my shell, I guess, a little bit. But again, this is confidence in secondary school, I guess. So I guess there are two examples of being young, two things that I might have did that like would have shifted quite substantially the type of person that I might have ended up becoming. But that's kind of when I was young. I guess let's fast forward more to as I was getting older. I think something I'm very blessed with too is having this dream of music and to entertain, I guess, that has forced me to do more difficult things. Because when you're chasing a dream, you do difficult things in order to achieve what you want, and it's a lot of difficult things. And the harder the dream, or the bigger the dream, should I say, the more difficult things you're gonna have to do to get there. So because of that, from young, I familiarized myself with doing difficult things. So getting on stages, getting booed. Actually, I got another dope story. Confidence comes from doing difficult things at all ages. And the more you do these difficult things, not only the less difficult they become, but the stronger that muscle gets. And a great example of this is with performing. I remember when I did a teenage disco, and long story short, was not prepared for it, was not ready for it. If I did any preparation, it probably would have been okay, but you know what they say, fail to prepare to fail. So anyways, do this gig, and I just got torn down off stage, just like booed, like horribly. People pulling my trousers, you're shit, like really a horrible experience, which could be quite traumatic. I don't think, was it traumatic? Yeah, I guess it was an element of it was traumatic, because from what I learned, trauma is a state. Trauma is not like, it doesn't have to be huge things. Trauma is just a state where you feel relative helplessness. You want to do something to change this, but you feel like you can't. So trauma can be a lot of things. So I guess it was traumatic. These people booing me, like, boo, you're shit, you're horrible, pulling down my pants. There was like 200-300 of them too, so I guess, yeah, it was quite intense. So anyways, that was a difficult thing to do. Now, I'm not saying everybody should get on stage and deal with that. In fact, I think you'd be better off not having to go through something like that your whole entire life. But saying that, it was quite a difficult thing, and what ended up happening from that is that night I went home, I went into my bedroom, and I just cried my eyes out, because I loved this dream so much, but it was such a horrible experience. And then I was like, I could just give up here, or if I could just try to get better and make sure this doesn't happen again. And I ended up getting better. Ended up getting like, hit you into motivational mode. I ended up getting up 6 a.m. that morning, and I hit myself with a dilemma and ultimatum, and I said, Martin, you gotta stand up, not let them do that to you. You're bigger than this. Yeah. Shout out all my motivational speakers. But I did essentially do that. I did get up at 6 a.m. in the morning that morning and start writing again and start trying to get better. And I gained a whole new level of confidence, because if I could get up on stage and 200-300 people rip me apart, then bruh, I could do anything. I could essentially do anything. Like, and more to think about, that experience probably did again made a big shift. And I guess what you can kind of learn from that is going through difficult things and doing difficult things will give you confidence. So doing things that you're fearful of, like, confidence sits on the other side of something you're scared of. Now, big statement. How do we break that down to the steps? To one step at a time. One step at a time. So example, let's start with social confidence, because it's a great place to start, because I would feel like I may have the most experience there. Probably the biggest one that a lot of people deal with too. So it's a very difficult thing to do, to build up confidence, to chat to people if you don't do it regular. So the way I would view, if you get like social anxiety, or you're scared of, you feel fearful of them environments, be it a night out, be it something simple like going to the shop, is kind of like, first of all, we go so outside of ourselves that we forget that we're in control. So it's almost like, and everyone does it, and in my toughest times I let it happen, where we let everything external control our internal. When we're in control, we're the ones. So the way I would kind of use social anxiety, especially even if it's something simple, like maybe you're scared to go to the shop, it's something simple like that. I know many people deal with things like that. Before you do something like that, taking a big breath inside of your nose, out the mouth, and going, I'm in control and I can do this. I'm in control and I can do this. And then visualizing, I'm going to go to the shop, say hello, get my milk, and then go home. And that's literally what's going to happen. And that's the reality of the situation. Now, what's going to happen when you say that? A lot of people is, all these other thoughts are going to start hitting them. They're like, oh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And then we enter internal dialogue. And man, internal dialogue can be incredible. We need internal dialogue. Internal dialogue, that internal conversation, it's how we learn about ourselves, how we learn about other people. It's how we educate. It's how we are happy, that internal dialogue. Not always how we're happy, but we learn from it, let's say. But that internal dialogue can be a nightmare, because you're trying to say something, but your mind's going da-da-da. And the more intense it gets, the harder it gets. And the way I kind of deal with my internal dialogue, especially if it was in a social setting, is don't think, just go. Just go. Because the more time I try to weigh it out and think if I should do it and why I should do it versus why I shouldn't do it, well, I'm kind of losing the battle almost, because I know it's the right thing to do. And if you truly know it's the right thing to do, move upon it straight away. And 9 times out of 10, you won't regret it. Even if it doesn't go the way like you thought it did in your head, you're not going to regret it. Like, and that's probably one of my biggest things I've learned is don't think, just go. And that works for a lot of things. Now, maybe it doesn't work in some situations where you have to be more calculated, you have to be more reserved, you have to spend time on something to work out, should I do this or not? Of course. But a lot of things are simple in life. A lot of opportunities are very simple in life. And often we block ourselves from the opportunities. And all we have to do is just go. So that's something I guess I've picked up over my brief span on this earth, is don't think, just go. And it's worked a good bit for me. And it's still a process. I'm still a person that has to work on my own confidence day in, day out, and it's a muscle and it's a skill. I think that's the biggest thing I could try to like say to the masses, if anyone doesn't understand that or hasn't heard that already. Confidence is a skill. It's a muscle. Anybody can work on it. Some people find it more natural and they build upon their muscle and skill. But the underlying factor is, it is a skill, it is a muscle, it can be built. So I don't care if you're 12 years old or if you're 67, it can still be built and the opportunity is still there. It's just how willing are you to put in the work, which, like anything, how much are you willing to put in to get out? And obviously some experiences can crush your confidence. Just earlier on when I mentioned about asking the girl out or getting booed off stage, two things that would have happened when I was quite younger that could have crushed my confidence, but instead I chose to use that as, well, you know, that did happen. Maybe I could do this. And that's the way I would look at things. And then the more you do that, the stronger the muscle gets. The stronger it becomes. And it becomes undeniable, at a point that undeniable when you walk into a room and people feel that glow, that aura. Have you ever been in a room, right? And someone walks in and they're just shining. They're just shining. And it's not so much their clothes or they're wearing makeup or not, or how they essentially look. You can just feel it off them. And you're like, what's that person doing that has that glow? Well, 9 times out of 10, they just built up their muscle over and over and over, where they go into a room and you feel that glow off them. And you're kind of sitting there and you're looking at them and you're like, damn, I wish I had someone like glow. Well, guys, I'm here to tell you, you can. And that's why for the cheap price of $9.99, you can get my... Wait, joking. It's a muscle, it's a skill, and anybody can have that glow. And everyone has that glow sitting inside them. The whole idea of unlocked potential, which is a whole thing in itself, unlocked potential. I think I might go into that in another episode. But that's kind of like my brief understanding of confidence, I guess, without going into like hella detail. And this podcast is called One Step at a Time. I guess maybe my advice would be to help build up your confidence is we all have fears. We all have massive fears. We have small fears. So I would think of a small fear that you may have that you've been putting off for a long period of time. Writing out what that fear is and the steps you would take to overcome that small fear. Let's start with a small one though. As I mentioned, it might be the bus driver. Give an example. You're a bit shy, nervous, anxious when it comes to chatting to people at social settings. Let's take the bus driver. When you get on the bus, hey, how's your day going? Or hey, have a nice day. Literally 2-3 words. You don't even have to, and if they talk back to you, ain't no bus driver going to have a long conversation. It's literally going to last about 20 seconds. It's creating these small segments of your day that will compound over time. These small little bricks that can compound into one incredible building. But yeah, just think of something that's a little scary that you don't ever do, and think of how could I do that. And I truly believe you'll start to gain some confidence, because them things will compound. If you enjoyed this, be sure to give it a like, a follow, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Next podcast is coming next week. And yeah, that's all from me today. The Oceanic Flight 111 heading straight to full potential with 0 delays. Guys, don't have a good day. Do not have a good day. Why? Have a great day. Have an absolutely great day. Go on. God bless.
Yeah, that's just how it goes. Yeah, that's just how it goes these days. I'ma try my best to make a flight, but if I don't wake up tomorrow, then the sun will still be. Yeah, it goes late nights on the road. Yeah, that's just how it goes. Yeah, that's just how it goes these days. I'ma try my best to make a flight, but if I don't wake up tomorrow, then the sun will still be bright.